Ladies and gentlemen, I want to read you a couple of articles. This will prove what I'm saying pertaining to Elon Musk purchasing Twitter. Now, like I said in my last segment, when I told people that he would buy Twitter, I heard some people say, oh, you're just engaging in hyperbole. He's not going to buy Twitter. He just bought 9%. Well, I told people then he's going to purchase Twitter. Now, today, everyone from the New York Times to CNBC, the Twitter board of directors is re-examining Elon Musk's $43 billion takeover bid. That's CNET. And Twitter in talks to strike deal with Elon Musk 33 minutes ago, Wall Street Journal. It's going down, and nothing's going to stop it. Because he's offering more than the company is worth, but that's a whole other story. He's doing so to defend himself. It's self-preservation, to protect himself. So, yes, he wants free speech, but he wants to also ensure that billionaires, the Democratic Party, competition in space and also with electric vehicles and any other business venture doesn't use this dystopian nightmare of a platform to marginalize him, silence him, disparage him, demean him, or prevent him from achieving his business objectives. He understands that currently Twitter is a place to manufacture outrage, indignation among the highly educated, morally superior, wonderful liberal Democrats who purchase his Tesla cars. He understands that his primary consumers oftentimes, will succumb to the latest obsession on Twitter. And if that obsession is leveled against him, let's say, for example, there are a million different scenarios of how Twitter could be used against a human being, okay? But let's say, for example, one of the billionaires, or let's say the Democratic Party, purchases a dossier against Elon Musk, a Steele dossier. Or what about a Musk dossier? You might say, oh, that's nonsense. What are you talking about? That's what the special counsel, the Durham Probe special counsel, is indicting people now because of. What if it's very simple, okay? If you have intelligence officials that say, just tomorrow, through Twitter, amplifying the nonsense, they could say, oh my God, Elon Musk, we truly believe that he could be an agent or an operative or influenced by another country. Look, he doesn't agree with us. So they did this to Tulsi Gabbard, they did this to Bernie Sanders, but Bernie Sanders is fine with whatever they do to him. Tulsi Gabbard fights back. They did it to Trump. They'll no doubt do it to DeSantis. They can compile a Musk dossier full of nonsense and lies, have a couple intelligence officials or former and current intelligence officials say, yes, it's true. All you have to do is look at what he's saying about, this topic or that topic, and amplify their lies on Twitter. Or suppress the truth, which is what they did with Hunter's laptop story. Hit subscribe to this channel right now, ladies and gentlemen. You might think this is hyperbole, but that's exactly why he's purchasing Twitter. That's the biggest reason. Look, CNBC, Elon Musk accuses Biden of ignoring Tesla, but says he would do the right thing if invited to the White House. The Democrats were worried and concerned that, quote, he would do or say something embarrassing if he were invited to speak at the White House event. That's CNBC. Then you have weather.com. Elon Musk to face fierce competition as Amazon enters space internet business. So that's Jeff Bezos. Okay, there's a picture of Bezos right here. Then Elon Musk confirms he turned down Bill Gates' climate change collaboration. Fox News, Yahoo Finance. CNBC, Elon Musk says he confronted Bill Gates about shorting Tesla. And then Senator Elizabeth Warren, CNBC, says billionaires should pay more, accusing Musk and others of not paying. He paid more taxes than anyone in history. All Democrats do is say tax, and then economic growth plunges and plummets, and we're heading into a recession, which Elon Musk predicted. By the way, hit subscribe to this channel right now, ladies and gentlemen. We're almost at 200,000 subs. And it's because if you hit subscribe to the Stock Market Crash channel, I address this in the Stock Market Crash channel. If you want to see me lift 100-pound dumbbells, go ahead in the Stock Market Crash channel. There's a segment there as well. If you want to support my work, my Patreon is below. Share this segment everywhere. You might say, well, a Musk dossier. I mean, they did it to Trump. Now, would they compile a dossier on Trump? No. I mean, on Musk? Probably not. They could. But they might do other things. Okay, they might find one person 20 years ago who didn't like working with Elon Musk. They could say that, his corporate guidelines are linked directly to supremacy, and therefore, who knows what they could do. Who knows? They could tailor their ideology. They could utilize elements of whatever ideology they want to promote against Elon Musk via Twitter. Twitter is a dystopian nightmare, a digital scourge, this cyber scourge upon humanity. I don't have a Twitter account. I don't have a Facebook account. I haven't had a Twitter or Facebook account for 3-4 years now. If you see anyone impersonating me, report them. But what Twitter is good at doing is silencing, marginalizing, denigrating, disparaging, and just silencing dissent. Elon Musk offers dissent. He gives a dissenting opinion. He thinks outside the box. He routinely mocks the morally superior, highly educated liberal Democrats on Twitter. Routinely mocks them. It's only a matter of time before they've had enough and they just try to silence him through lies and deceit, which is what they did against Trump, which is what now we know. The attorneys doing that are now going to get indicted, like Michael Sussman and the others, the people who spread the Steele dossier, which was literally purchased by the Clinton campaign, into the United. They took a document that was fabricated, full of lies, funneled it into the United States government. Now we have John Durham indicting people for doing that. One of the indictments is Igor Danchenko, one of the sources of the dossier. But you have Michael Sussman, who fabricated the Alpha Bank story. And I talk about the Durham probe special counsel, just like the Mueller probe, but these people funneled lies and allegations to get government agencies to investigate Trump. Why would they not do that to Musk? Why would they not do that to Elon Musk? Of course they would. Democrats the ideology on the left cannot exist without everybody from Jimmy Kimmel to Seth Meyers to all of late night, social media algorithms, Hollywood, the Oscars, the music industry, with the Washington Post, New York Times, CNN, MSNBC. It's a public relations monstrosity. It does not exist without coercion, bullying, harnessing economic repercussions for thinking differently. That's the key here. What Elon Musk is going to do is he's going to allow Trump and all the other conservatives or people who are viewed as extreme voices, which they're not really extreme, but let's just assume that, okay, these are extreme voices, and some of them are more performance artists than anything else, but he's going to allow them on Twitter, and there are already laws preventing speech from harming others. When you have 70s rockers saying that Joe Rogan is spreading information that's harmful to people, that is such a disingenuous accusation. If somebody watches a Joe Rogan segment or listens to anybody, Russell Brand, Jimmy Dore, anybody who falls outside of the mainstream, let's say you listen to Russell Brand, who's fantastic, absolutely fantastic, or Joe Rogan, who's absolutely fantastic, and the wonderful, morally superior liberal Democrat who's doing everything that they should that's approved by the consensus that is a fabricated consensus, because anyone who falls outside the consensus experiences immediate repercussions on Twitter, Facebook. They're banned, they're suspended, they face hit pieces from the Washington Post and New York Times and others. But anyway, let's say you're listening to Russell Brand or Joe Rogan or anyone who just has critical thinking skills and doesn't listen to like robots to whatever the mainstream narrative is. Immediately, you'll get a 70s rocker who nobody even cares about now saying, oh, well, that information is harmful. Who is it harmful to? Oh, there are lives being lost. How do you know? Then go sue the person. You're never going to see a lawsuit with the number of lives being lost. Nobody's ever going to sue anyone for saying the information that's public record information with experts. Also, by the way, experts who have been excommunicated, whether it's an expert in any field, we'll just leave it at that. They've been accused of heresy or blasphemy. No one is ever going to find the number of people harmed, just like you couldn't find the number of people harmed, almost certainly more, by the mainstream narrative propped up by all the educated adults in the room who are now presiding over record highs in inflation and fossil fuels and geopolitical nightmares. But anyway, the point is, the people, when Twitter says, caution, this information is deemed harmful, this information is linked to another country, the people who would be susceptible to looking at that information and saying, okay, that makes sense or that doesn't make sense, or I'll entertain the notion that this could be accurate, more accurate than the government, or more accurate than the Washington Post, let's say, that human being who watches Russell Brand or Joe Rogan or Jimmy Dore, anybody on the internet, that human being is forming an opinion based on fact and issuing a rebuttal to the narrative promoted by the New York Times, the Washington Post, CNN, MSNBC, government officials. Okay. When you have a 70s rocker saying, this is harmful information, that 70s rocker or that person at Twitter or that liberal Democratic senator, they don't care about the people they claim would actually be harmed by any information. Because the people who they claim would be harmed by this information, I know I'm getting this is a long-winded response or discussion, but the people who watch Russell Brand or Joe Rogan or Jimmy Kimmel or not Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Dore, or anyone who falls outside the mainstream, the wonderful, morally superior liberal Democrat wants that person to suffer. They do not want that person to have a good life. So they're more than happy. You see it all over Twitter. Oh, those people should suffer a terrible fate for not listening to us. So they don't care. When they complain and they opine and they yell at the from the rooftops, that information is harmful, they're speaking to people who are looking at that information and saying, I am going to do what I want to do and not listen to the mainstream narrative because the facts are on my side. They've issued a rebuttal to the mainstream narrative, which is really what the Twitter censorship is about. Mainstream narrative happens to coincide directly, always, with the Democratic Party. That's where the political side comes in. So when you have the 70s rocker accusing Joe Rogan of harming others, he doesn't care about the others or the Trumpers or the Trump supporters or the Green Party people or the Bernie Sanders voters or the people who would watch Joe Rogan and say, yeah, the government's lying. That 70s rocker doesn't care about that person. Okay? The Twitter people who are caution, this information could be harmful. They don't care about that individual who runs to the beat of his own drummer, not listening to the government or not listening to the Washington Post. They just want conformity. They want people to conform. And if you don't conform, and you listen to Elon Musk and say that makes sense, in fact, he makes a lot more sense than other billionaires. No. The system, they can't have that. So this is self-preservation for Elon Musk. He knows it's only a matter of time. He's entering space. He's doing electric car vehicles. And there are other powerful interests who are going to utilize this dystopian nightmare of a platform to just, they could lie about him, gain enough emotion, gain enough indignation. Like, you have to understand the mentality, because I know I've been one my whole life. I was a liberal Democrat, then progressive, whatever that means. Hillary Clinton is a progressive. So, I don't know, what does it mean? So, I was on the left my whole life, up until the past 3-4 years. The way a left-leaning person thinks is they look in the mirror and say, I am battling all the mean people, all the conservatives, and I'm doing what I can to protect the planet and, fight for justice and truth. As I accuse Trump of being installed by the Kremlin because James Clapper and John Brennan told me so, and as I accuse Julian Assange of being, a bad person and preventing him from publishing material that could be harmful to the Democratic Party, and as I ignore all the accusations against mashed potato brains and Bill and all the Chris Cuomo and Andrew Cuomo, and we can go on. Oh my God, the Lieutenant Governor of New York. Democratic donor, Arizona state senator, we can go on forever. We don't have enough time. We're just going to go on forever. So, or Hunter's emails, So the corruption on their side, they're not capable. They're not humanly capable of looking at their side in the same way they look at Trump. So Twitter is a way for them to, it's mirror, mirror on the wall. It's a mirror they can say, who's the fairest of them all? It's me, the liberal Democrat saving the planet. Elon Musk did what? No, I'm not buying a Tesla anymore. And that could happen within like a week. If Elon Musk's competition wanted to, within a week and a half, he could be the most disliked man or one of the most disliked people, just by harnessing the power of Twitter against him. So he knows what's going on. He's not stupid. He's the richest man in the world. But that doesn't really mean you could be the richest man in the world and lack wisdom. Elon Musk has wisdom. That's far more important than any intelligence he has. Wisdom is far more important than intelligence. Anyway, give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now. This is self-preservation. This has nothing to do. Twitter is not even like, it's basically a failed company in many ways, okay? And the more they alienate people, the worse it becomes. So, and they have $4 billion in debt, and the debt keeps rising. And so it's not really a platform of free speech. It's a way for Democrats to censor political rivals, while feigning indignation and while pretending they really care about people being harmed by information, as they actively harm people by using information. A Steele dossier being an example. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. Hit subscribe to the Stock Market Crash channel. If you want to support my work, my Patreon is below. To my new Patreons, thank you. If you like this segment, there's also a super thanks button below. Thank you so very much.